Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. In this week's Parshas Boy, we read about the first mitzvah, according to many, the first mitzvah in the Torah, the mitzvah of HaChodesh Hazeh Lachem Reish Chadashim, the mitzvah of Reish Chodesh. The mitzvah of Reish Chodesh, we know there's a couple of Semanim in Shulchan Aruch that tell us what we're supposed to do special on Reish Chodesh, and perhaps it says in Poskim that the Yom Tov Reish Chodesh is more a Yom Tov that the women is specifically given for women. They have a minig not to work on Reish Chodesh, as it's mentioned in Shulchan Aruch. However, there is a part that's connected to Reish Chodesh. Very few people learn the halachas, and it's the halachas of Kiddush Levana, which is actually obviously connected to Reish Chodesh. Now, there is an interesting story. There is actually an interesting custom that comes along with the mitzvah of Kiddush Levana, and perhaps there is a tremendous lesson that we can learn from it. Many people, many Chassidish communities, after they do Kiddush Levana, you've seen maybe they may have a shtickle tencel, a dance. Some sit down and say l'chaim. And it was once discussed, what is the reason that specifically after the mitzvah of Kiddush Levana, Baruch Hashem, here b'lehem Torah mitzvahs, we have a lot of mitzvahs to fulfill. Why? Where is the mucker, the source? What's the reason for after specifically Kiddush Levana, people sit down and say l'chaim? So I read a beautiful story, and that says it gives us a little insight into this. The story is of the mid 1930s in a Galician city. Once came the great Rebbe, Rav Avram Yeshua Heschel, the Mezrabusha Rebbe. He came to visit there, and it was a cold winter day, and it was the time when you were able to do Kiddush Levana. So after Ma'ariv time, he asks, could we do Kiddush Levana? Of course, it was cloudy and snowy. There wasn't a visible Levana to be seen to make a bracha. So you don't give up on a mitzvah. You wait and you wait. He went back into his room. He started learning, and he told his chassidim that whenever the moon, the Levana, becomes visible, please let's get together and fulfill this great mitzvah. There's a lot of beautiful things. How even in the tefillah that we say of Kiddush Levana, we compare it to lahakbil pnei hashchina. It's a tremendous thing. So they were waiting and waiting. Finally, they hear somebody scream, "Whoa! We see the Levana. We see the Levana." So please call the Rebbe. And they called the Rebbe, and the Rebbe came out, and they came and all did together Kiddush Levana. After they did the Kiddush Levana, after they did the Kiddush Levana, the Rebbe gives somebody some money, and the Rebbe says, please go to a liquor store. Now this is midnight. This is late into the night because they were waiting. It wasn't visible before. Please go to a liquor store and purchase some mashka for the people to be able to say l'chaim. Now this is midnight, late into the night. What kind of bar? Even a goyish bars are closed by then. Baruch Hashem, they had the schus to do the mitzvah, but the stores are not open 24 hours. Yet the Rebbe wants to say a l'chaim. The Rebbe wants the Chassidim sit down and try to figure out where we're going to get some mashka now. So they thought until somebody came to a conclusion. Somebody says, "Oh, there is somebody that lives a couple of blocks away that has a Chassidish upbringing, and he wouldn't mind if you wake him up and say, I know your father owns a liquor store. The Rebbe, the Mezrabusha Rebbe, wants to make l'chaim. Please help us out." Sure enough, they went through this whole tircha, and after an hour or so, they bring the Rebbe l'chaim. And the Rebbe says to them, I'm sure you're wondering, what's this l'chaim in the middle of the night? Why you have to go out of your way to wake somebody up and all that? So let me explain to you. And this is the lesson that I'd like to share with you. He says, Kiddush Levana is a great mitzvah. However, in his words, es kostish kein geld. There is no expense in Kiddush Levana. You come outside, there's a Levana, you make a bracha. It's a great mitzvah that you're performing for free. So therefore, the Rebbe wanted to spend some money. He wanted to have a physical input in the performance of the mitzvah. So he says, here, go spend some money and we'll be able to celebrate. And that should be our approach in all our mitzvahs. A lot of mitzvahs come in easy, Baruch Hashem, and the Gemara itself says that there's a mitzvah sheyesh b'chesaron kiss, a mitzvah that doesn't have a chesaron kiss, but you don't want it to come easy. What comes easy goes easy. You want to live with it, not only spiritually, even physically.